Hi, and welcome to HR FAQs. We will be discussing about absenteeism. Does employee absenteeism really matter? Employee absenteeism is one of the most common workplace problems faced by employers in today's workplace. Absenteeism is a habitual pattern of unscheduled absence from a duty or obligation. Legitimate illnesses still account for the majority of employee absences, but some studies have shown that less than one-third of absences from the workplace are related to poor health. Among the common causes of absenteeism are 1. Illness. 2. Injuries due to accidents. 3. Personal matters including childcare and elder care. 4. Workplace bullies, including not given proper protection, not enrolled to Social Security, SOCSO, and Employee Provident Fund, EPF, sexual harassment and violation of their basic rights as per the Malaysian Employment Act. 5. Burnout, stress and low morale. 6. Disengagement. And 7. Job hunting. Traditionally, it has been viewed as an indicator of poor individual performance, as well as a breach of an implicit contract between employee and employer. When an employee is absent from work, the manager is responsible to assign another employee. This exposes the business to indirect cost which may be detrimental should the replacement employee be less competent. Experts estimate that the real cost of absenteeism is the 300% of the direct costs. This is based on the direct costs, replacement labor costs, the loss of productivity, and the reduction in overall business performance. Now we are going to review an actual case on absenteeism. An employee, who worked with a company since 1999 was terminated by the employer because he was absent to work. According to Section 15 subsection 2 of the Employment Act, an employee shall be deemed to have broken his contract of service with the employer if he has been continuously absent from work for more than 2 consecutive working days without prior from his employer, unless he has a reasonable excuse for such absence and has informed or attempted to inform his employer of such excuse prior to or at the earliest opportunity during such absence. This means that if an employee is absent from work more than 2 consecutive working days, he or she is considered as no longer show interested to work in the company, therefore is terminatable. However, the circumstances surrounding the absence must first be considered. The court finds that the company have failed to give an opportunity to the employee to explain his absence before proceeding to terminate the employee. Therefore, the dismissal is considered as unfair. Here's a few steps on how to handle employee absenteeism efficiently. Step 1. When an employee is absent from work without any notice, the first thing to do is contact the employee to find out why they are missing from work. Step 2. If they're unreachable, through the phone, send them a show cause letter for their absence to their email and home address. Step 3. If an employee who is missing from work is unreachable for 2 or more consecutive days, and given ample time and opportunity, then an employee is considered no longer interested to work with the company, therefore breaching their contract with the company. This will justify the termination in the IR court. Step 4. If the absent employee contacts the company or replies the show cause addressed, then a domestic inquiry is conducted to determine whether there's a valid reason for his or her absence to work. Step 5. Should the panel of the domestic inquiry finds the reasoning is unacceptable by the company, then the panel is responsible to determine the fair and appropriate action to be taken. Now, we will be talking about absenteeism in the workplace. Absenteeism in a workplace is a problem all managers encounter, and although absences are often due to legitimate reasons, they can get out of control if they're not managed carefully. Persistent unexcused absenteeism, particularly when it involves just a few individuals, not only lowers productivity and increases everyone else's workload, but it can precipitate a sour atmosphere in the workplace. It's something that needs to be nipped in the bud. Statistics vary on the monetary impact of absenteeism, but statistics shows that it tends to be highest among service occupations, such as healthcare, food service, cleaning, and so forth, and administrative staff. Absences occur for many reasons such as burnout, stress, low morale, job hunting, etc. It needs to be addressed quickly. Here are a few tips that may help you handle absenteeism. 1. Is the absence for genuine reasons? Ever wondered if there was a good reason behind that call you just got from an absent employee, excusing himself from work for the day? Often, there is a genuine reason, and your instinct can guide you on this one. However, if you are noticing an excessive pattern and finding it hard to take your employee's word for it, then it's time to take action. If an employee is simply not bothering to show up or give you advance notice, then an intervention is essential. Start keeping a paper trail and records of absences. 2. Give absent employees an opportunity to explain themselves. The first thing you can do is give employees an opportunity to explain themselves. When they return to work, have a one-on-one discussion about their absence and express your concern. This is not a disciplinary discussion, but more of a fact-finding mission. Your goal is to understand what's happening and try to solve the issue. For example, if stress is a factor, then you may need to discuss strategies that can help, such as shifting workloads, reducing responsibilities, and other ways. Very often, employees are pleased that they have been given an opportunity to air their problems or grievances. But be warned, you may learn things that you don't want to hear, particularly if it turns out that your management style is the problem. Try to remain objective during the discussion and use it as a platform to change things. 3. Put a performance improvement plan in place. If the tactic doesn't work, then you need to put a performance review plan in place that sets specific goals for improvement, attendance being one of them. Put the plan in writing and clearly explain the time frame of the plan and the consequences of not fulfilling its requirements. 4. Develop and state a clear leave or sick leave policy. A written policy won't stop absenteeism, but it will help you deal with it more effectively. It will also demonstrate to all employees that you don't tolerate absenteeism. Use the document to clearly explain paid and unpaid leave policies and the consequences of unexcused absences. If you have a company newsletter or intranet, use these to promote your policy. 5. Assess your management style. It's hard to acknowledge, but one of the more common reasons for employee dissatisfaction is management style. Could your style be encouraging employees to harbor grudges or lose morale? Step back and assess what you can do differently. Is your open door policy really that open? Do employees really feel valued? Plan on setting aside more management time for your team, discuss their professional goals, and share your vision for the continued growth of your business and their role in it. 6. Consider introducing incentive plans. While there are no guarantees that you can control absenteeism, initiatives such as incentive plans and programs such as flex time, wellness programs, and project completion perks are proven to increase morale and productivity. They also send a clear message to your employees that they have a recognized and valuable role to play in your business as a whole. And lastly, 7. If you've exhausted all these intervention measures and aren't seeing improvement, then termination may be your only option. Follow your HR policy to the letter on this one, and refer to the law as it pertains to terminating employees, final paychecks, and more. For more info on how to handle employee absences, please visit our HR portal or contact our consultant on www.ihrnet.com.